Hi, this is James at Tabletop Gaming Guild, and today we're going to take a look at Tiny Epic Game of Thrones Ice and Fire, which is an expansion for Tiny Epic Game of Thrones, which is a game published by Gamelin Games here and in the Tiny Epic line here. Now, most Tiny Epic games only let you play up to 2 to 4 players. If you know of one that lets you play more, let me know in the comments down below. But I think, unless I'm missing something, I think this is the first one that lets you go up to 5 players. So this expansion lets you do that, which is very exciting. Gives you 2 new factions. It also gives you a cooperative mode where you're trying to defeat the Night King, which is going to be the last set of books. Now, I have never read Game of Thrones, and I've never watched the movie. So this is going to be a review for a person who's never absorbed any of that content. So I don't know much about the world here, and all I know is this game. So this game here, you have a cooperative mode in here, which also adds a new solo opportunity for the game. And you, like I said, get 2 new factions there, which add more factions for the base game. Plus you can play up to 5 players. What I want to do is take you down to the table and show you all the content, because this is a deceptively thin here, but this comes with an enormous amount of content. I want to show that to you, and then we're going to come back and I'm going to give you my final thoughts. All right, so this is all that you get with the expansion for Game of Thrones Ice and Fire for the Tiny Epic line here, and this is a massive expansion. You get so much content in here. You're going to get 2 new houses here. You're going to be able to play with the Mother of Dragons here, and you'll be able to have her dragons show up in the game, and they're just basically more powerful units. They get to be placed out on the board, and here's the card for her dragons, and they're worth 2 strength each. And you can see they can march or they can sail with other units normally, or they may fly. Fly, you can perform a march or sail action for 1 dragon alone, or carrying the Mother of Dragons to move direction to a domain up to 3 adjacent domains away. So these dragons are pretty darn cool. And then you have her here, and these are the 2 cards. And then you're going to have Jon Snow here, and this is his miniature. And his 2 cards. And one of the really cool things that these 2 new factions get to add to the game here, and you could pause it at any time if you want to read any of these cards here, but the 2 cool things that they add to the game is, 1, they're going to add a lot more replayability to the game, because you're going to have a lot more different factions that you can play with, or that can show up that you could try to gain favor with. And then on here is going to be the player board, and then their tokens, house seal, and then his player card, his player board, and tokens, and house seal. But not only that, giving you 2 new factions you can play with, you can also now, you have the components to play for a 5th player in a Tiny Epic game. And I don't know of any other Tiny Epic games that let you play up to 5 players. If you know what I'm not thinking about, please put in the comments down below there, and I will, I'd like to know. So yeah, so if there's another one that can be played up to 5 players, let me know. But anyway, this is going to be your new board where you select your actions on here, but you're also going to evoke terror. And that terror, you have this terror pool here, and this is going to like add non-player tokens. You're going to, before checking alliances, you're going to terrify, and that has to do for every 2 White Walkers. The treaty must move 1 power token of an ally of choice from the treaty ally pool into the terror pool, then return all White Walkers on this mat to their pool, which is going to be rough in the game here. And you're going to terrify houses. You're going to get +1 for fighting when defending. So basically the idea is, like, you have these 2 new houses here. You got this new board here for doing your player actions. This gives you a cooperative element to the game here, where you can play a cooperative game, or you can play solo. And in this, you're going to get the Night King. So you get this Night King miniature here, and you get the Night King player board here. And the Night King's incredibly hard to defeat, because you have to get these obsidian knives. You have to get 3 of these before you can even think about taking them out. And he has really cool art on the back of them. And then you also have all of his White Walkers, and you have mechanics for that. And you get a good amount of White Walkers with it. And this is going to be the range report for each round here. And you use this to build a deck that you have to defeat them by the time before the deck runs out here. And this is basically like program movement. It's going to tell them, and you're not using this entire deck. There's just a lot of different ones for round 1 and round 2 for replayability, but this will tell you what they do here. And there's exploration tokens that come out, and these are the White Walkers that pop out. And the exploration tokens are one of the key parts of the game here. We'll go over here in a second. But in essence, I'm just showing you the components, but the exploration tokens are a big part of this. So you're going to get the White Walkers come out, and you're going to have these exploration tokens come out. And if an exploration token is already in the location that it's showing, which you're going to have all of them on the board to start, in each of the locations there, you're going to flip it over. Or if you explore there, you'll flip it over, and they have various benefits on it. But one of the things that you're looking for in this is you're gonna have the White Walker. You're looking for these obsidian daggers, which are only going to be in the northern region here, which you get 2 northern region cards for it, and you also get this wall. While this wall's up, you can't transverse into the northern region until this wall comes down later on. And then you also have these exploration tokens, which are going to be in the southern region here, and you can get these swords here to help you with the White Walkers, defeating them. And there's all sorts of, like this one, kill a White Walker, get 2 gold there. So there's going to be a lot of that for the exploration tokens, but those are going to go in the different regions on the board there, and you can explore them to gain different things. The other thing that's really different in this game here is you're going to have more of these castles. You're going to have 6 of them before you can go in to the Iron Throne here. So you'll have to have 6 of these in before you can go in. You're always trying to keep this up. So this is actually a cooperative thing, so they're all going to collectively add to this. And then you also, if it wasn't hard enough, you also have the Night King's Ice Dragon that you had to defeat here. And you can have 2 phases to it, and you got a really cool little thing for that. But yeah, so I just wanted to show you what comes with this. We're going to go back up and I'm going to talk about this expansion a little bit more, but I just wanted to show you, instead of just talk about it, I just wanted to show you the sheer volume of stuff that you get with the game. And one of the things here I want to show you before I forget is you get this giant deck of cards here. And again, you can pause this if you want to read any of it. So this is Bend the Knee. Return any hero you control to its house mat and gain 1 point in addition to the benefits for returning it. Oh, also with this expansion, when you play cooperative, points are completely different. Points are going to be used to move forward, and you're going to have it above the Night King's points there in order to be able to damage him. So he's going to be like leapfrogging you every once in a while, and you're going to need to make sure you keep up above him to be able to take him out. Stash of the Dragon Glass, reclaim your homeland, resurrection, lordly promotion, survival, loyal companion, a shocking discovery, aggressive arbitration, dangerous voyage, house of the undying, a surprise coalition, disobedience, devotion. That was a pretty Interesting one. Followers zeal, a crown for the king. That's poured liquid gold on on his head, killing him. And unsullied. So you get all these cool cards with the game here. And like I said, you get a massive amount of expansion components for this game. It just sort of doubles the amount of content that you get to the game. So I definitely wanted to show this to you. But let's go ahead and back up the table here, and I'll talk more about this expansion for Game of Thrones, which is called Ice and Fire. All right, so that was all you get with this expansion, which is a substantial amount of content. The content and component quality in here is going to be phenomenal. I don't talk about this enough, but the Tiny Epic line games component quality is phenomenal. Way more than they would need to do for these, or what you would expect from something in like a small box game here. You're talking like really nice finished cards that are really well made. They're going to last a really long time. Really nice mats, really nice wooden meeples there that are screen printed. And then the little metal coin, and the dice are amazing. Just so much thought, detail, and love goes into making these games and having such great component quality. It's just wonderful. I never talked about it that much, but I really think that they really do a really good job with that. And you really get a really good bang for your buck every time you get a Tiny Epic game. I don't think people talk about that as much because it is a very small investment for a lot of game. You're talking about a day and age when a lot of games cost, closer to $100. You can get a really great game for very little, with really great component qualities. These are really good values for what they are, and they play like large games. Like this game here, the base game for Game of Thrones, is amazing. The other game that they came out to it, which is gives me the same vibes, not exactly the same gameplay, and it would definitely be one that I would also recommend if you like the Game of Thrones Tiny Epic game, was their Last Kingdom game. I think that was one of the underrated games. It's a very amazing game. I had so much fun playing it. It's like basically diplomacy without hating each other at the end. But this game here also gives that vibe of, like, in the base game especially, and if you play with just the factions and add them in there, gives a really cool like competitive vibe in the game here, where you have to just backstab each other to be able to sit on that crown or sit on that throne of swords there and win the game. That's not really how you win the game, but it's a good way there. But either way, this is just an amazing game. It really gives a feel for the tension that I hear is from the movies and the books. I'm eventually going to get to those, but I really love this game. I really think that this is an essential game, even if you don't really get into the cooperative portion of this game and you just play it competitively, which is where I really love this game. The two new factions are amazing. Having those dragons pop up, they're really, really cool. Give like a sort of really asymmetric feel to that house. And just having the replayability factor for lots of variety in the game for the different houses that you ally, because they'll have all these other factions that can cycle in and out, is just awesome. Just that alone makes this an essential expansion. The cooperative portion on it is great. I have a lot of friends that lean towards the cooperative games, and this is a really well done one. I'm not so much into the cooperative games. I like playing the competitive games, but this was a lot of fun too. It's very hard, or at least was for us, to beat. We haven't, but it's very enjoyable, and there's a lot of tension in it. So I really appreciate the fact that I love the tension that you get in the base game playing it. Trying to keep those castles there, trying to keep your gold up, knowing that when you get the castles it knocks your gold down, and trying to deal with these limited resources, move your troops, take those area control areas, and all that fun stuff. And having a little light negotiation with the other players there to try to, move yourself ahead. And there's some backstabbing, and I really love that. And the cooperative one loses a little bit of that. You're very cooperative in this game. You're trying to get instead you're trying to get those different fortresses and put them down there so you can build them up, so that you can be able to enter that land there with the sword throne, and that's a very good area to hold. You're trying to cooperatively gain resources to be able to move up and take out these White Walkers by going to, these different exploration points and flipping over those tokens and getting different things and moving forward with the game. And it has like a sort of like a pandemic-y feel. That it is not pandemic in any way, but it has a little bit of a pandemic feel with all the units coming down towards you and sort of like spreading out on the board and having to deal with them and having to deal with these different events that are occurring. Not quite events, but basically different hotspot areas that are having like too many walkers and all that fun stuff. But either way, the cooperative one's also really fun. If you have played a Game of Thrones, Tiny Epic Game of Thrones, and you really like it, and you're like, hey, I would like to play this cooperatively, this is the expansion for you. Either way, I think this is an essential expansion. I really enjoyed it. I think it's great. I'm going to be basically playing it with the two factions most of the time, and I'll play the cooperative game anytime anyone wants. But this game, Game of Thrones for the Tiny Epic ones, is staying in my collection. It's going to, and I don't normally put a lot of games in my collection. This is going to be one that definitely goes in. And that's my thoughts on it. If you like what we do, please like and subscribe. It really helps us out a lot. It helps us get more content out to you all and all that fun stuff. But either way, I hope you all have a great day, and thank you for watching.